Great. So, friends, why don't you tell me a little bit about this short of yours? I'm so excited about it. It's fantastic, and I can't wait to see everybody's reaction.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, so our short is called Will I See You Again? And it's pretty much about 20 years passing where two estranged friends from college, they reconnect at their mutual friend's funeral. And that mutual friend in their will wants them to undergo a polygraph examination with each other to just kind of bring some things to light and to surface that they've been avoiding for the past 20 years. And if they pass it, they get their inheritance. So that's really the synopsis of the film.
Nice. And tell me a little bit about how you came up with the idea, the casting. I want to hear all about how this all came to be.
Yeah, so my husband, he directed it and he came to me. We always wanted to work together. We wanted to partner together as filmmakers because he works in the industry. And he came to me and said that, hey, I want you to create a story. Just find something and write something. And I've always been a writer, a storyteller at heart. And so I spent about a day just coming up with this idea, trying to find something that resonates with me. And I think what resonates with everyone universally is wanting closure. So once I had that idea in my mind of seeking closure. And then how can we go about seeking closure in a way that's unique that we haven't seen before in film? I came up with the polygraph. And the reason why the polygraph stood out to me was because it's a conduit, it's a device that no matter if you're telling the truth, it'll say that you're telling the truth. And if you're telling a lie, it'll expose that you're telling a lie. And so I felt that if there's two people that have had distance due to love lost, for whatever circumstance it is, how unique would it be to be forced into participating in something that would not only reveal truths to each other, but also reveal truths about themselves, depending on the questions that are asked. So I that's what inspired me, just from my own experiences in college with my own love and loss growing up into my adulthood. I felt like there is something that's missing in short films and just in cinema in general when it comes to um, people finding a way to tell the truth and be authentic and have closure.
If you want to add anything?
Oh, absolutely. So I had left. I went to run an errand, and I said, "Hey, you've been writing a lot of different stories. Write one, write one. And when I come back, we'll hatch it out. We'll talk it over." And when I came back, he had this whole scenario written out. I said, "Wow, this is great. I love this. This is fantastic." And so from there, he began to write the script, and then we collaborated together on honing some last pieces before we got ready for a shooting draft.
Yeah.
And then luckily, I've been in the business as a union digital imaging technician for about 10 years, but I started when I was 16. So I've been able to foster a lot of wonderful relationships with cinematographers, other writers, directors, and everyone behind the camera grip electric. And when it came time to it, we brought on two additional producers, Valeria Lopez and Alex Coffey, and they helped us. They basically organized everything so we could bring this creation to life. And a lot of my very dear friends that I've spent a number of shows on came and lent their craft and time and helped us create this beautiful picture.
Yeah.
And we're so proud of it and just can't wait. Like you said, we're very excited to have the world see the story on the big screen,
Yeah.
because we knew what we had when we had our casting put together,
Mhm.
and the caliber of
Talent.
talent, yeah, that Tina Becker, our casting director, brought us was just, it made us feel like, oh, okay, the capacity for this story to reach another level of excellence, what we strive for in storytelling, it became very, very real.
Yeah.
Couple that with all the craftsmen, craftswomen, craftspeople behind the camera, I felt very confident that we're doing something really special.
Yeah.
Very nice. And tell me a little bit about the casting. Did you have someone in mind when you were casting your characters, or did you casting director just bring you these people and you're like, oh, that's my character?
Yeah, so we did have initially people in mind, but they were more so just like a blueprint, an idea of the type of archetype that the characters would be. And so when we brought on our producers, Valeria and Alex brought on Tina Becker, the casting director for our short, she took those ideas and then through her skill set implemented and presented us several different people. But the first batch of actors that she presented, we were like, oh my gosh, this is perfectly aligned to the vision that we have based on the look, skill set, technical talent, ability to perform, especially because it's a very emotionally balanced short, and these characters have a lot of depth.
Right.
And we wanted to make sure that we had people that were able to deliver that, as she understood what we requested with that. And I think with Mike being a director, he was able to really communicate his vision because he was the leader of this ship.
Yeah, it was a really it was a wonderful experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Tinica is phenomenal at what she does. She's been doing it for a long time, 20 plus years, I think. And she's casted some phenomenal talent ensembles and different features and shorts. And she was really passionate and really believed that we could find the actors that were needed for that emotional range in the short. And it all plays really well. When we got the dailies after we finished filming, we would watch it and it just came to life in a way that exceeded my expectations. I have high expectations for myself, and try to do my best to implement success for all my team members when we're trying to tell a story. But seeing the product in its raw form when we got our dailies, I was like, okay, we have something really special here.
Yeah.
And what would you say was the biggest challenge about doing the project?
Ooh, the biggest challenge.
I'll let
You
you
want me to go
answer
first?
that.
Okay. I would say the biggest challenge is just time. Time.
Yeah.
We had a couple scheduling bumps in the road where we lost a couple hours on our second day, but
Yeah.
we had my assistant director and my cinematographer, Sandra Valde Hansen. She's ASCDP that I have worked with since 2019 now, and just a huge champion of supporting me and my husband in storytelling. They're very seasoned, so they were able to hone in what the solution would be to consolidate, rearrange shot listing, and figuring out, okay, what do we need to tell the story? Because at the end of the day, when you're filming, you only need what serves the story. It'd be great to get every shot you want, but at the end of the day, what's the story and how do we tell it? And it's funny because in the edit, my editor, Sarah Williams, she was like, you didn't even need all X, Y, and Z, all the
Yeah.
shots that you wanted. I know you lost a couple hours, but she's like, you have
Enough.
more than enough. And that is a wonderful problem to have.
Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I would say the timing too.
Yeah.
I think because we condensed, if when you watch the short, there's only 3 locations. There's the church scene, there's the pastor's office, and then there's the lawyer's office.
Mhm.
And we condensed that within a 3-day shoot. And it's very rare to tell a story in such a condensed time of 24 minutes and be minimal in the amount of locations that we had. But we were very intentional with that, my husband and I, and our producers, because we wanted to make sure that we can challenge ourselves with being very strict on what the direction is of this story so that viewers cannot get distracted. We want to not have so much distractions when it comes to where we shot, how we shot, what type of scenes, what served the story was most important. So I will say it was challenging, but we were able to accomplish it because we had such a professional group of our cast and crew that were just executing like flawlessly. So it was challenging to plan it, but once we started filming, it worked out.
Yeah, it's a journey. There's that, I forget who said that quote. I think it was like Orson Welles, but he says a painter needs a paintbrush and a writer needs a pen, but a filmmaker needs an army. And you need an army of very passionate people who have a skill set, who are all there to just at the end of the day create a story together. And that's the most magical thing out of this experience. Particularly our 2 producers, Valeria and Alex, they really were able to efficiently and safely, in regards to the crew's experience, provide a very well organized experience. And this is, at the tail and just coming out of the strike in 2023.
Yeah.
So a lot of my colleagues, we were all in the trenches of that experience. So for everyone to come to help with this project, I got a lot of praises about how the production went, and that it was so great to be on such a well organized job or project, especially with your friends.
Yeah.
And without giving too much away, what's one scene you're most looking forward to everybody seeing?
Oh,
Uh,
all right. I can take a shot at
yeah,
that
you go
because
ahead.
I wrote this.
Yeah.
I think the most impactful thing that I'm looking forward to the audience experience is the actual polygraph questions. I think that's where a lot of the heart of the film lies, especially within the characters. You get to really see them revealed, whether it's through influence or themselves with having courage. So I'm looking forward to that. What about you, Mike?
Yeah. I mean, my answer is the same. If I could just add one more thing to it, it's probably the opening scene, because one of the most special things for my husband and I is most of the background folks in the church are family and friends, close family friends.
Yeah.
My grandmother, she's about to turn 90 this year. She's there front and center. You can see her in the background. My aunts, my mom,
Yeah.
cousins, like it was a family and friends event, but it's so special to me to have my family, our friends, like forever imprinted on this feature.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That is beautiful. I like that. Nice. And how'd you, as an aside, how'd you come up with the polygraph questions?
Well, I initially had an idea of what those questions could be, and I thought back to my own experiences in college with a love that I had with a certain individual, and how what questions would I ask, or what questions would be asked to me that maybe I will be scared to answer. So I had to really dive into my own insecurities, my own fears of judgments, of rejection. And once I did that in my writing, I presented to Michael, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is great. This feels very raw. It feels very authentic to the given situation of how people might respond or ask a certain question." But then we took it a step further when we collaborated even more. It was just, polishing up the script. We really wanted to make sure that it was really enhanced and that every question had a purpose. It had to have intent. It had to have purpose, because there's so much time that these gentlemen have to speak their truth and to go through this process. So we really had to be intentional about every single question.
Yeah, because in the beginning you had more questions
Yeah.
that ended up in the script, and then more that ended up in the cut.
Correct.
And so we consolidated and were able to choose questions and the sequence of questions, which presented choices that the characters had to make. And so it became a rhythm between, truth and lie and honesty. And you could feel it as the scene progresses. It gets more and more intense. And then, with all the other elements of storytelling, enhance that.
And what's next for you two? You have any more projects on the docket?
We do. So we actually, one thing that my husband and I have always been getting from people that have privately screened this short is that, what's next? Like, we want to know more of the story, like what happened before with Max and Paul in college, and what happens after once they complete the polygraph exam. So we actually wrote a pilot for a limited series expanding on this short. So
Right.
that's our next project.
We're very excited. We're very excited.
Yeah.
We've been, when he wrote the story and the script, and then we went in and started honing and the possibilities of expanding, and he had came up with backstories, and so we had enough of a frame for our actors to understand who they were playing, because we come into this on one day, and then a couple days later there's the polygraph scene. So all that content has been written to support the short, but it has actually been written to support a longer narrative.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's so exciting. I'm so proud of you guys. I can't wait
Oh,
to see it. And I
thanks,
can't wait to interview you again for that.
Thank
And
you
we're
so
gonna have to do
much.
another interview for that.
We would
We
love
will.
to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing I like asking people I interview is tell me a fun fact about yourselves.
Oh, fun fact. That's good. Okay, let's
Okay,
see.
I
Off
have
the
to think.
top. A fun fact about me. Okay, here's one. Luther Vandross was a close friend to my mother, and I was actually born the night of a concert that he had that my mother went to. And there's a photo of Luther, his background singers at the time, and Lisa Fisher, who was also a background singer for him at the time, pointing at my mother's stomach at me. And then a few hours later, she went into labor and I was born. So I knew him all the way up until his passing. So I think that's close to my heart because I credit that Luther brought me into this world with his music and his talent.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't think anything could top that, but Michael, you want to give us next?
I know, right? I know, right? Let's see. Fun fact about me. Let's think. Well, I'll just start with the little piece of about. I don't think it's in my bio, but when I was 16, I was interning at Raleigh Studios, which is now MBS in Manhattan Beach Studios. They shot like Insecure, Mandalorian there. But when I was 16, the studio was fairly new, and I interned on the OC season 4 while I was in high school. So that became like a really special thing, and I ended up working under a producer on that show. And fast forward to a couple weeks ago, I just wrapped Based on a True Story, season 2 for Peacock. That producer remembered me from when I was a 16-year-old kid. And it's just serendipitously, we were brought back together on this TV show that we just finished.
That's the one with Kelly Coco, right?
Kaylee Cuoco, yeah, and Chris Messina.
Yes, yes. We loved that show. We were like obsessed with it. I can't believe I'm so happy it's coming back.
So good.
It's fun. Shamelessly promote the show, but it'll be really wonderful. That the cast, the crew, the experience was great. The fans will love it.
Nice. And since we're a TV site too, what are you guys watching these days?
Mm.
Ooh, I'm
Mm.
old school, Sammy. So I like to stick to my Golden Girls, My Wife and Kids on Netflix. I keep it very old school. I'm more of a nostalgia type of viewer.
Me, just finished House of the Dragon. I am a avid George R. R. Martin fan, and I'm waiting for the big battle. I'm anticipating that. Looks like we have to wait another year for that, but yeah, I'm sure it'll be great once it
Yeah.
airs.
Nice. Now, which Golden Girl are you? Which one do you relate to the most?
Ooh. Oh, that's good. I think I'm a little of all of them. I see myself in each one of them, but more so probably Blanche. Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Michael?
Oh, that's a question. Let's see. Let's think about, to most of the world, Dorothy, to a few select, Blanche. For certain people, I'm Dorothy, and for another group of people, I'm Blanche. But that's probably how they perceive me. I think I'm Dorothy, excuse me. I think I'm Dorothy for sure.
Yeah, I definitely people see me as Dorothy, but I'm more of a Sophia.
Ah,
I
nice.
like that.
Yeah, actually once in the whole week I did online dating, I had in my profile that I was like Sophia Petrilla and nobody understood it.
Oh my
Oh, that's
gosh.
unfortunate.
That is a
So I was
sign
like,
of the
delete.
Yeah, yeah. Sophia is a classic for sure.
Yeah, she is. And like I could crack voice cracks like her all the time, but I have a lot of Dorothy in me too, so
Yeah, I mean the show still holds.
It
It's
does.
like God, 35 plus years old and it still holds. It's great.
yeah, I mean I could like watch the whole thing, binge watch it, and then start it all over again and never get tired of it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's one of the first shows I watched with my niece too.
Oh, that's
Oh
cool that you share that together.
yeah, it
Yeah,
translated.
and which was first time I held her when she was crying. That was one of the songs I sang her to calm her down.
I love
Oh,
that. I love that.
that's great.
Nice. And where can we follow you guys on social media so we can continue to follow this amazing career of yours? Of
Yeah,
both
so
of yours.
follow me on Instagram. My handle is just Rhett_Lindsey, and that's RHETT_LINDSEY. And that's the same for Twitter and Facebook.
Myself is just first, middle, and full last name. So Michael Perez Lindsay, no hyphen.
Nice. Now, Rhett, were you named from Gone with the Wind?
It's funny. I actually my middle name is Everett, and I've always gone by Rhett as my nickname and my preferred name. So I'm from Clayton County, Georgia, and that is actually where Terra Boulevard from Gone with the Wind takes place. That's
Yes.
a real
Mhm.
location. So yeah, I think my parents were influenced heavily by Gone with the Wind for sure in Atlanta, because that's where I'm from.
I love it. I love it. Oh, gentlemen, it's been such a pleasure to speak to you. We have to do this again soon.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Sammy. Thank you so much for your time and for allowing us to present our film on your platform, Grapevine TV.
Yeah, no problem. And we will talk again soon. Thank you for being a part of this. Have a wonderful day.
You as
You
well.
too. Take care.
Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.